Last two topics I want to talk about is kind of a review of Star Wars Visions. So let's pull up Disney Plus right now. I got a chance to watch all of them today. Today I had a really short day at school, and my school does really short Wednesdays. Plus, I'm a senior, so I don't have much work. So yeah, here are all the episodes. I'm gonna give like a little breakdown of what I thought of each one of them and like where do they rank. The Duel, I thought this was a really strong episode. This was my first ever anime. This right here, The Duel. Um, and I really enjoyed it. It was definitely in my top three of favorite episodes. I like the concept of Ronin being a defender against Sith, but not a Jedi. I thought that twist was really interesting. And I loved the Sith's lightsaber on this. That was really cool. I know there's a canon novel with Ronin, and I would just like to explore this character archetype more. Like not a Jedi, but defense against the Sith. I know we have way seekers now in the High Republic, and you could kind of closely relate that to this or bearish vows. Um, I guess I'm not sure which one Ronin would be, but I'd like to explore Ronin itself more, and or the archetype of Ronin. Tatooine Rhapsody, I liked it. I really enjoyed it until it got to the end with like the band. I think it was a really heartfelt story, and I enjoyed that. But when it got to the end, I didn't care. It felt kind of bland to me, like just them playing a song. I understood it was supposed to be a heartfelt moment. Um, this one didn't do it for me. The twins I liked, but it felt a little too on the nose with Luke and Leia. I didn't mind the ending, like with the Tatooine. Um, that was okay. Um, overall, it was all right. Not my favorite thing, but I enjoyed it. Uh, the Village Bride, that one was really interested. Like again, before I get into the other episodes, I am definitely now oversaturated with Jedi and with kyber crystals. Way too much of that. And I think if you binge watch it, you're gonna get really bored and it's gonna become really repetitive for you. And that's how I felt watching it. Still, the episodes were great. Like I think Visions is honestly better than the Bad Batch. That's nothing against the Bad Batch. I enjoyed like half of those episodes, like thoroughly enjoyed it. But these, I liked almost all of them. It's like three of them were really, really strong. Um, but yeah, anyways, uh, The Village Bride, I didn't think I was gonna like this one. This one I really enjoyed. Um, a Jedi who's in this unique village. The village, the village leader's daughter is supposed to be taken by pirates, and this Jedi saves the day. I like this one. This one was good. Um, here's where I think we should get some really, really strong episodes. Episode 5 um, was the Ninth Jedi. Um, and, we had this magistrate, I believe it was called. Um, and the Jedi at this point are extinct. They don't have their lightsabers, and it's just the Sith that reign. And I feel like once you get the canon thing out of your mind, just enjoy these stories, and you could like them. Some of these I think could fit into canon if we put it at a different time period. Um, so I really enjoyed them for what they were. I know some people, again, me specifically, I wasn't too excited to watch this because it didn't matter towards the timeline. But once I got that out of my head, I enjoyed most of these. And some of them I think could fit into canon. I think this one specifically could fit into a very early time period, somewhere in the Old Republic or before that. Um, and I really like this one. This Jedi gets lured into a trap. There's a bunch of Sith that kill the Jedi. They get these lightsabers and try to take out this magistrate, this person who has a guy who's created these lightsabers um, for Jedi to use. This magistrate knows how to use the Force and defeats some of these Sith. And it's basically about rebuilding the Order. I really enjoyed this one. This one's in my top 4 or 5. But yeah, and there was a little girl, and I can't recall her name, who helps bring up um, the lightsabers and this funny droid that's like malfunctioning. That's really cool. They did a good job with droids in all of these. I think the droids were really good in all of these episodes of Visions. TOB1, Toby. This episode was not great. I enjoyed it, but compared to the rest, it's a cybernetic Jedi. Um, and the doctor that created him is also a Jedi, lends him the lightsaber, the cybernetic boy who defeats the Sith that came to the village. And this one, just aesthetically, I didn't love. It wasn't my thing. And yeah, it definitely wasn't my favorite episode, but I didn't hate it. It's probably in my bottom half of Visions episodes. Um, it's just not my cup of tea, but it was interesting. The Elder, was my favorite episode by far. I love master and apprentice relationships. This one felt very, um, very stereotypical, but at the same time, it's why I love the master and apprentice or master and apprentice relationship. We get this Elder. And again, this is another character archetype that I'd like to explore in Star Wars. A dark side user that's not associated with the Sith. I wish we got more of that. And this dude is insanely powerful. We see him take out the apprentice very easily, doesn't kill him. And I like the message it has in here. I don't necessarily agree with it in the sake of Star Wars, but like it talked a lot about Father Time, and like Father Time caught up to this Elder. And the Master acknowledges that like I could not defeat him in his prime. This Elder was very powerful in the dark side of the Force. And I disagree with it in the sense I think of the Force as the more older you become, the more in tune with it you are. Sure, at some point you're going to die, but you're going to be more in tune with the Force. Physically, it's going to be tougher for you, but your Force abilities, I think, are still there. But overall, I love this episode. I love this character archetype of the Elder, and I love the character of the Elder itself. Lope and Ocho was a really good found family story. Ocho helped this character, a buddy named Lope, into her family after Lope was escaped being a slave to the Empire. And Ocho eventually, fell into order and wanted to join the Empire. She joined the Empire. And her father was very disappointed. Her father was very rebellious against the Empire. Lope, takes up the mantle and has to fight Ocho. So it's a sibling battle, kind of like the twins. Again, my only problem with Visions is they're so similar, and it deals with kyber crystals and lightsabers way too much. I felt oversaturated with it. So by the time I got here, I'm like, I knew what kind to expect. There were some really good twists in all of these episodes. But I kind of, it kind of got bland to me. But yeah, anyways, let's continue. The final episode is definitely in my top 3, and I haven't seen a lot of people talk about it. Akakiri. This Jedi has a vision, and this vision is terrifying him, and it's a vision almost like Anakin with Padme. And this dude turns to the dark side and straight up kills the princess that he becomes friends with and he's supposed to protect. And he brings her back to life with the help of the Sith. But this episode ends on a massive, my favorite cliffhanger of them all, where He's now presumably a dark side user, like this Jedi who's done heroic things. They went up this mountain that nobody has ever survived on. And this dude is just straight up evil now. It was very short, concise, and right to the point. And I loved it aesthetically, its vibe. Like this one is super underrated in my opinion. Um, yeah, I want to see more of that. I want to see more of all these. All these kind of leave off on a cliffhanger, and I really want to see a season two with all these stories continued. And they leave the door open to that. The producer was talking about it, so I really hope we get a season two of Star Wars Visions. Overall, I'm gonna give the first season an 8.5 or an 8 out of 10. Really loved it. I liked it more than the Bad Batch. Um, and that's surprising because I was not excited for this at all because it wasn't canon. And canonicity kind of matters to me. I know in principle it's not, but it does to me. Vision's great. I hope we get a second season. I hope some of these archetypes and even some of these stories are adapted into canon. So yeah, that's what I think about that. And our final topic, last week, I believe last Thursday, Sun Kane confirmed that his character uses a lightsaber. He says, here, I kept pinching myself, going, how did I end up here? And my character has a lightsaber. So it's been rumored that Sung Kang was going to play the fifth brother, and that seems to be confirmed if his character is going to use a lightsaber. I know you, Lucasfilm, when he said that, was like, that's a big no-no, because Lucasfilm definitely looks at the rumors and leaks and stuff, and, we've gotten really good at that stuff. Our leakers and scoopers have gotten really good at that stuff of knowing what's real and what is fake. They've gotten really good, I think, in the past few years with all that stuff. So it is basically confirmed now that Sung Kang is going to play the fifth brother. Again, I don't know how big of a role it's going to be. We believe, kind of a spoiler here, that the premise of the show revolves around Leia. Maybe Leia getting lost. Maybe something with Leia, with the Inquisitors. And I think Obi-Wan is going to fight Sung Kang's fifth brother at some point, before we get that massive showdown with Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader. So I would suspect that when we see the fifth brother, it will be him and the Grand Inquisitor, I think, hunting down Obi-Wan. And I definitely think that Sung Kang uses that lightsaber to fight against Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi.